the freeway, and we have a little rain. This is nice. The green is going to come. We get rain for a week here in the Bay. We're hearing this new term, atmospheric river. When's the first time you heard that one? It's another new term that just has me tripping lately. I'm not sure I'm going to go there. And this short video is actually just a question of, should I go there? Should I share what people want to hear? Should I talk about the loving extraterrestrials who surround us in light and are here to protect us from destroying ourselves at this most important time where we are transitioning from one state of consciousness to the next, and there is no doubt that humanity will ascend to a much more beautiful version of ourselves, and this is the time that has long been prophesized. And though it is scary when we look out there, we know that sometimes the storm comes before the calm, and that of course birthing is something that requires significant labor and initiation. I mean, even you can hear my language that's heading a little bit more towards the scorpionic. The big question of should I go there is, should I talk about war? I have long looked to 2025 as a kind of scary time, and this is based on the chart of the United States that most astrologers use, which is the July 4th, 1776 chart. There's much debate about the time to use for this chart of the United States, but typically it's that Declaration of Independence. What, was a declaration of war in Philadelphia in Pennsylvania, July 4th, 1776, that is used as the USA chart. It's an interesting thing, by the way, because for other countries that are new, and yes, that is the truth of the United States, we will choose the day that the country became independent. And of course, that was not 1776 for the United States. I mean, maybe in their minds and hearts, right? Should I say ours? But it wasn't until the British surrendered and that war ended. And then the Constitution came later, and and Washington, D.C. was built. Like all those times are pretty interesting. But typically astrologers utilize this date where declaration was declared, or the declaration was declared, the independence was declared, right? Anyway, when we look at that chart, there's a 83-year and 84-year cycle. Interestingly, the 83-year cycle is a Jupiter cycle. And it would be hard to connect Jupiter with war because astrology teaches Jupiter is the great benefic. However, what are you told in school? Those of you who came up in the United States like I did anyway. The Civil War was disastrous, but was it not for the most righteous calling? Couldn't we say the same of World War II? Well, those wars were spaced from the 1776 date by this 83-year Jupiter synodic cycle and the 84-year Uranus transit cycle. So John Brown's body, and then later the attack of Pearl Harbor. So they're very close to the United States Jupiter synodic returns, which happen every 83 years. The next, or the third of these, is 2025. So July 4th, 2025. The Uranus transit is an 84-year period. Now, it doesn't mean it happens on a day. That's how transits are. But 84 years after 1776 is 1960, kind of the official start date for Civil War is 1961. And then 84 years after 1960 is 1944. If you know, the Pearl Harbor incident was December of 1941. The United States entered World War II shortly thereafter. And World War II ended with the nuclear bombs in 1945, right? And that is just a scary thing to even consider. You can feel the Uranus in it. Uranus, by the way, was discovered in 1781 during the American Revolution, and Civil War in the United States around the United States' first Uranus return. The second Uranus return coincided with things like the first tests of nuclear bombs, and the only 2 nuclear bombs which thus far have been used in war. And this is really terrifying stuff, yeah? So should I go there? I mean, first of all, I'm going there already, right? But I would really love to know, anybody who's seeing this video in present time or in the future, if you would please just leave a comment of, yes, I would like to hear this. No, like, let's keep it light. I'm considering maybe sharing some of these charts in my storytelling hour today, which is every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, I hope you know. But I'm just not sure I should go there. Another interesting thing to consider is the synastry between that Declaration of Independence chart from July 4, 1776 and the birth chart of one Donald Trump, who, like the United States, has very strong Cancer placements. Trump has a Venus-Saturn conjunction, the sign of tropical Cancer, very close to the United States retrograde Mercury. Trump has Mercury in the sign of Cancer, very close to the midpoint of the United States Sun in combust Cancer Jupiter. Trump was born as a lunar eclipse was forming. It's something actually I'd like to investigate astrologically, because due to parallax, there's chance that there are places in the world where the lunar eclipse experience visibly had already begun at the time of Trump's birth, which I'm interested in considering. It was daytime in New York when Trump was born, so the lunar eclipse, of course, would not be seen. The sun was in the sky, moon is below. I like to say just because you don't see it doesn't mean you don't be it. But an interesting truth with lunar eclipses, for those who do see them, is the timing of the lunar eclipse depends upon where, and this is true for solar eclipses as well, and all lunar phenomena. It depends where on Earth you are looking from, due to an astronomical phenomenon we call parallax. So I found some interesting little parallax riddles along the way. And maybe that's a thing to investigate that would keep me from going there today, because I have hesitation, as you can feel. Trump's lunar eclipse, so Sagittarius moon opposite the Gemini sun at the lunar nodes, is very strongly aligned to Mars at the time of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. The really strong synastry does not stop there. By the way, astrologically, we should expect strong synastry between the United States and Donald Trump. I mean, has there ever been a more influential figure on the United States than Donald Trump? Hate him, fear him, love him, see him as the second coming, like whatever. I mean, it is just amazing, the Trump phenomena. And by the way, astrologers I see are like rectifying his birth time and trying to suggest that Regulus was not rising when that man was born, and I don't see why you would ever go there. I mean, unless you just feel that Regulus is all on her and da 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 da. But it is so clear to me that that star is running this game. And I shouldn't say game anyway. Wow, what a big and beautiful bird's nest, which sadly has fallen out of a tree on this windy, stormy day. What does that mean? So should I go there? Do we want to talk about these things? Is this something I should do on my YouTube? Maybe it's something that I should send out to the mailing list and offer like a private session. There, I mean, there's some beautiful and inspirational images which give me some optimism despite, you know, great fear. Look, we have a 9-year-old boy living here and a baby who's not yet 6 months old, you know? I mean, this shit scares me. But I also feel like I had to share what I'm seeing in the charts. Ryan says, call your sponsor and get to a meeting. Damn, bro, you're relapsing again. No, not relapsing, and never been part of AA, though I see that it works really wonderfully for many people. I found my sobriety in a very different way, and I'm all good. 13 years, almost 14. But, you know, thanks for talking shit, I guess. 13 original states, not 12. Get your Ophiuchus on. That's fun, right? Good one. Ryan says he can feel Uranus. Well, yeah, I'm a Uranian. The sun and Uranus danced at the time of my birth. Winter, I say go with your gut, but I would be interested in going into the controversial stuff. Thank you, Winter. QZ, yes, we should talk about hard things because we're here to learn. I feel, especially knowing you, QZ, you mean here on Earth. Yeah, and then there's that interesting question too, right? Do we learn through hard things? Can we also learn through joy and bliss? Because, as they say, energy flows where attention goes. Is it manifesting an S-storm by staring into the dark portals? And would it therefore be more productive to talk about lighter things like the turning of the ages and the potential great conscious shift? And maybe the one and the two are together. Anyway, I'll look back at this video later. I really appreciate anybody who's hearing this at a time when I'm not live and just saying, hey, yes or no, right? I'm leaning just even in these short offerings, and thank you even for those of you telling me I need to go talk to a sponsor for your feedback. I guess I'm leaning towards maybe having a private thing.